Hello everybody, what's up, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Own It Shack broadcast, and this is going to be episode 2 of my Masters League quest, Justifier, the amazing Red Terran here on Lost Temple's quest to get into the Masters League. If you have not checked out the first one, well, it's probably a good thing you didn't, because it was extremely laggy. I have no idea why. I'm hoping this one won't be. I'm really sorry for that too. Honestly, it just kills me inside when I know you guys want to watch the videos, but you can't because of a technical problem. It's the most frustrating thing, and I really do apologize for that. And if anyone has any input as to why that could be happening, just send me a PM. Honestly, I would love to know. And even if you're totally wrong, all input is appreciated. But anyways, getting right into this, it's a Terran versus Terran on Lost Temple, as I said. And, well, you know what? A Terran versus Terran, it's kind of a difficult matchup for me. It's probably my second best being Terran versus Protoss, and worst being Terran versus Zerg. So, you know, I'm not feeling too great about this matchup, but I've been using a new strategy lately that's been totally breaking the ladder, and that's the Blue Flame Hellion drop. It's been working out really well for me. It's great because it allows you to transition into Viking tank very easily, since you have the tech for both of them after your drop, and that's really a good thing. I mean, Viking tank, it's pretty solid. It's a great unit composition. But yeah, I mean, anyways, just starting off with the basics here, just getting my depot and refinery and barracks all at the regular time. There's going to be nothing out of the ordinary here. Pretty much everything is standard, actually, that I'm going to do in this game. Well, actually, there is one little hiccup, but I'll get to that when the game gets to that. It's a very stupid thing. So anyways, my scout did not find the opponent, sadly, so I'll be moving him over to the next location. And one thing you might have just noticed that I did right there was I queued my SCV that's building the barracks back to the mineral line. This is just a simple thing you can do in order to get them right back mining as fast as possible, so you don't have to go out of your way to select them after it's done. It can be very frustrating to do that, so that's just my reasoning behind that. Gonna get the orbital at the regular time too. So now you can see my SCV has found the opponent's base, and what I'm going to be looking here for is gas. That's pretty much all you got to do in Terran versus Terran. Check the gas and you're pretty much set. Going to be taking out his SCV too, because I saw him sneak around over there somewhere. So I see two gas at the opponent's base now on the minimap. I can see both geysers have been captured by a refinery, and thus I immediately think, what could he be doing that requires gas this early? Well, there's really one thing he could be doing, and that's Banshees. And considering the fact that he had a lovely Banshee avatar, I'm pretty confident in assuming that he is going for Banshees, and I'm also confident in assuming that this game's AI is completely fail. As you can see, my SCV is hung up on the depot, and I'm forced to bring another one because I couldn't see that SCV in the game to build the factory. So my factory is delayed like nothing you've seen before, and that is extremely unfortunate. This rush could have been so much faster, and as you can see, my SCV finally decides he wants to get around that depot and build the next factory, but I just cancel it and bring him back. What a stupid thing. I can't even believe that something like that can happen. I mean, I didn't even notice things like that happening in SC1, let alone SC2. But you know what? It's okay. It's not too big a deal. It's delayed, but you know, at least the factory went down eventually and I'm still in the game. So anyways, I'm going to be throwing down my second refinery right after that factory, and also going to keep calling down mules. I will not scan my opponent in this matchup ever. I just can't do it. It costs too much. It's simple as that. 300 minerals for a scan to see what your opponent's doing. I think that's great in, like, you know, maybe a Terran versus Zerg, but a Terran versus Terran, I just go with this Hellion drop, which can deal with almost anything. So, you know, that's why I like it. Don't have to scan. I'll let him do the scanning. So as you can see, my Eng Bay is going to go down around that 24 supply mark, 23, 24. That'll get your turrets up in ample time for any Banshees that he might throw at you. And now that my factory's up with the tech lab, I'm going to be researching the Infernal Pre-Igniter to get, obviously, you know, those Blue Flame Hellions. Going to be putting one turret up behind the mineral line, and the other turret is going to be placed by the production facilities. That's all the turrets I feel that I need in this matchup in order to do you know, a significant amount of defense against the Banshees that should be coming. As you can see, my first Hellion is now out, going to be rallying the second over there as well, and my starport's now built so I can get that medevac out once I get enough minerals for it. And like I said, you know, this would be out, you know, maybe 30, 40 seconds earlier if I hadn't screwed up the factory like that. It's honestly, the AI was pretty stupid, but I could have just lowered the depot to prevent that, so I'll take some responsibility for it. So as you can see, gonna get 2 Blue Flame Hellions so far, and the Medevac and 3rd Hellion should both be coming out at around the same time, as you can see there on those buildings. Another thing you'll notice, I always play with my health bars on. This allows me to see everything that's going on. Just a small little thing you can do. It makes the game less aesthetically pleasing, but you'll play better. So what do you want? Do you want to look good or do you want to play well? Don't even think that made sense, but it doesn't matter. So as you can see, I'll be bringing my dropship along a path that does not go through the middle of the map, so it doesn't get sniped by any of his units there. As you can see, he's going to burn a scan to get absolutely no scouting information. 111 build is so common, it can mean anything. Now what he will get from this, however, is that there's no tech lab on my starport, so he doesn't have to worry about Banshees. But he does have to worry about pretty much everything else. He could be facing a lot of Marines right now, he could be facing fast siege tanks, he could be facing the Blue Flame Hellion drop, which he is. As you can see, the Hellions are right there, going to be just unloading them out of his sight, of course, hawking them all to 4 so I can quickly kill off his SCVs, and you're just going to see the amount of devastation that these Hellions do here. His forces are completely out of position, as you can see on the mini-map. Sadly, I lose my Viking there. Flew it right over a bunch of Marines. I did manage to see the Banshee though, and so I know I need to pull my units right back to that turret that I built near the production facilities. His Hellions don't have Blue Flame, but I need to keep those Marines alive regardless because they're the only thing I have versus the Banshees right now. What you're going to want to do here is just make a Viking, and that's what I do. And just pull your SCVs back to your other units. He doesn't have Blue Flame Hellions, so they should be pretty decent in escaping. I do lose a ton of them, but you know what? Not nearly as much as he lost. I mean, check it out. He's got about 1 or 2 left on the gas there, and that's pretty much it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to repair all my SCVs just so that he can't get sniped easily, and with the units he has here it's going to be ages before he gets that orbital. And now that my Viking's almost out, I should have no problem cleaning this up. Also going to be checking around for any hidden expansions that he has, or maybe one at his natural with my Hellions. They're still just in his base doing sick damage. As you can see, I sadly lose a tank there, but with the Viking I can easily take out the Banshee, and the ground force should mop up everything else. So yeah, that's pretty much why I like this build. As you can see, I got exactly what I needed to deal with what he threw at me. Because with the 111, that's what you can do. The Hellions are still over there just getting more kills. Going to be taking out more of his SCVs. And yeah, I mean, I'll get the Marines too. There's no way a light unit is going to be able to do anything versus my Blue Flame Hellions. As you can see, he's just losing so much here, and that's really why I like this. I'm just going to get that last SCV before I load up the dropship and escape with 0 casualties. Now, this is where the transition comes in. As you can see, I've now pretty much completely transitioned into tank Viking. I'm not going to be producing more Hellions at this point. It's not necessary. I have enough, and I managed to save them from before, so I feel very safe in using what I have and then just completely transitioning into tank Viking. I'm also going to be getting more Marines as well, just for some support. Not going to be investing in any upgrades for them, however. It's really not worth it, I don't feel. Your money would be much better spent upgrading the bulk of your army, which is the siege tanks. Now, as you can see, I'm really pressed for gas right now, but that's okay because, you know, I'm so far ahead, essentially, that it doesn't matter. I mean, look, he's got his Banshees. They have Cloak now, but with the turrets and the correct turret placement, there's nothing he can do. You have air dominance with these Vikings, and that is why I love this build. I really didn't experiment with this until recently, and you know what, I'm just loving it now. So now that I have my geysers fully saturated once again, I should have enough gas to start siege tank production. Also going to be hawking all my units there. I like to have my Vikings on 1, siege tanks on 2, my entire army on 3, and the fast units like Hellions on 4. So, as you can see, going to be getting the reactor on the barracks just to produce some extra Marines because I have a ton of extra minerals right now. I'm also, you know, my macro is not the greatest this game, I'll certainly admit. I was not in the best frame of mind when playing this. I get kind of nervous in Terran versus Terran. I just feel so lost sometimes. But with this new build, I'm feeling a lot better, I have to admit. It's really something I think you should try. If you can execute this in like the Bronze, Silver, Gold League, I think you will pretty much break the ladder. The people there will not have the multitasking skills necessary to deal with your Hellion drop while maneuvering their army. So as you can see, the expansion is now floating over to a already constructed turret. It's very important. That turret there is going to protect from the Banshees once again. No, he has them. And you know what? I'm just going to continue my siege tank production. Got my barracks, factory, and starport on 5, 6, 7 respectively. And yeah, I'm just going to be focusing on getting this expansion up. You should really transfer a bunch of SCVs, but I didn't have that many to begin with, so you know, like, I mean, he did do some damage, I'll put it that way, but I still feel very ahead. So now I'm going to be moving out with the army. When you're expanding, it's a great time to move out and just apply some pressure. Probably not the greatest time to kill them, but you'll essentially just keep them on the back foot so you can get that fully saturated, nice, up and running without having to worry about getting owned. I'm also going to be putting a tech lab onto that starport as you saw there, and the reason for that is simply so I can get a Raven if he's still using Cloaked Banshees at his main. I am saving scans, however, just in case, but it will be nice to have some mobile detection should my scans run out, so that's why I do that. But when I come up here, I see, okay, there are no Cloaked Banshees. He's just gone transition into some mass Marines, and you know, the Hellions will mop this up without the help of the siege tanks and Marines. So anyways, yeah, once you're up here sieged up in your opponent's base, you pretty much have a free ticket to win. You have complete air control, so you can take out his medevacs easily. And I'm just going to leave the tanks back there while the Hellions can deal with all these units. As you can see, the blue flame upgrade is really starting to pay for itself here. I'm also going to be sniping the medevacs with my Vikings, so he can't do any of this load up micro BS anymore. And yeah, once he loses all of his units, I think he GG's. And there it goes, yeah, Optimus types GG, and so do I. And that's how you basically play Terran versus Terran, I think, if you're a diamond level player like myself. So as you can see, I believe my opponent was a 2551 rated Terran player with that beautiful portrait there, the evil Banshee, I should say. He actually played quite a few games. Yep, 2551. And myself, I'm about 1900 now. I've been just doing so well on the ladder lately. I'm really happy facing opponents who are slightly favored now even. So yeah, and I really hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I hope it's not laggy for you. As always, any feedback always appreciated. Hope to see you again for another daily dose of ownage.